Hi all. So I converted SIBM Pune for its flagship MBA program, and in this video I will explain the detailed GEPI process that I followed for my admission to SIBM Pune. So in SIBM Pune we have two rounds of interview. First is a GE and second is a PI. So in GE, this is something that is unique to SIBM as there's not a regular GD but a group exercise. So herein we are not just sharing our ideas but collectively as a group arriving to a shared conclusion. So for example, in my case, we were given a problem and three alternative solutions from which we had to choose one solution. So the problem was that it was about that dumping of plastics had increased in oceans and what should be the solution that should be implemented first. And I chose one solution and I also gave the reasons for why I chose that solution. And I also began the GE, so that is something that maybe gave me extra brownie points. And after the GE was over, we were moved to a separate PI room. And so I have noted the questions that were asked, all the questions in my personal interview round. So there were two panelists, and one was male and one was female, and both were not grilling and very chill. So the first question was asked by the male professor. He asked me to the general tell me about yourself, and I gave the well prepared answer. And then the second question that they asked me was, what is bottom line? So as all the commerce backgrounds students must know, as I come from a BCom background. So bottom line is net profit, and then they asked me second question that was top line, which is revenue. So after that, next question that they asked was, what is more important, operating profit or net profit? So I gave the answer that operating profit is more important because operating profit only gives profit from the operating activities of the business, whereas net profit has uh, returns from other activities as well, which may not be recurring in nature, and they seem satisfied. But here I made a blunder while giving example of activities that are included in net profit but not in operating profit. I gave the example of scrap sales, wherein they immediately corrected me that scrap sales is something that is included in operating. So, but they didn't mind that and they immediately corrected me and said it's fine. So, next they asked me current ratio. So, current ratio, I explained it is current assets upon current liabilities, and also then they asked me what is the ideal current ratio. I gave an approximate answer that is it is between 1 to 1.5, and they seemed satisfied. Then they another question that they asked me was, is a 7 current ratio good for a business? And I said no, it is not. And the what can be the reason of such a high current ratio? So the reason could be more current assets and less current liabilities, and it can be disadvantageous for the business because a lot of cash may be lying unused, yeah, at the business. And second reason could be that inventories may not be sold as they have been stocked up. So after these questions, ma'am took over and she asked me to first one question briefly. So that was that in my SOP I wrote two business experiences. One was my freelancing experience and second was a business about hair accessories that I started on Instagram. So she told me to explain both of them briefly. And as I was doing that, she interrupted and said that you should cover numbers like revenues, costs, and profit as well. So I gave her the exact figures. And then she asked me about some articles that I had written as a content writer, and I told her the examples. And at last, one question was asked by Sir. It was that if not MBA, then what would you do if we do not select you at SIBM Pune? So I gave the answer that I would try to convert my next best call, which from any other college. So they said that we will rephrase the question and ask, if not MBA this year, then what will you do? I said that I will prepare for CAT again, and I will sit for the entrances and do MBA next year. But then they again rephrased the question and asked, if MBA was not an option for you, then what would you do? So to answer that, I said that I would do courses that would provide me the knowledge that MBA would have provided me, and try to find a job to put to use that knowledge and expertise. So they were satisfied, and it was a very nice interview experience because it was very conversational, and also the entire process was very smooth, and we also got to interact with the director of SIBM Pune, who also tried to calm us down by saying things like it is not a personal interview but a personal interaction, wherein the faculty is just trying to know you as a person, and then so it was nothing to be stressful about. So that was all about my experience. If you are appearing for your SNAP exam next year or any year, so I wish you the very best and hope to meet you at SIBM.